Well, welcome. That is Richmond International Raceway, one of the oldest and most established venues on the NASCAR Winston Cup circuit. This is round 25 of the series, the Chevy Monte Carlo 400. Second time the NASCAR boys have visited Richmond this year for the 0.75 mile D-shaped circuit. Redesigned about 25 odd years ago, it offers quite a challenge to the drivers with its various bankings on the front stretch and back stretch and 14-degree banking in the corners. Jeff Burton qualifies on his front row for the first time, or first pole position, I should say. Bobby Labonte, fresh from winning the last round, continues his good form and joins him. Jerry Nadeau's looking to improve on his fourth place. Best finish this year. Rick Mast equals his best front row start. Rusty Wallace and Ward Burton are on row number 3. And Bill Elliott looking for another top 10 in this series as he did last in May. Johnny Benson only finished 25th back in May. Ken Schrader and Mark Martin are on the next row. Kenny Wallace and Steve Park, who's won this year. Jeff Gordon and Tony Stewart had a great battle in this race last year. Watch out for them. And Kevin LePage and Elliott Sadler on row number 8. Well, Dale Jarrett's looking good in the championship again, as is race winner Jeremy Mayfield. Jimmy Spencer and Matt Kenseth are on row 10. Brett Bodine and that man Dale Earnhardt on row 11. Well, it's Dave Blaney and Jeff Bodine who head up row number 12. Ricky Craven and Ricky Rudd on 13. John Andretti's on 14 with the Pontiac of Stacy Compton. Joe Nemechek and Mike Skinner, who went so well here last year, looking for his first win. Dale Earnhardt Jr. won the race here in May. He's got a long way to go, though, with Hut Strickland off of row 16. Bobby Hamilton and Wally Dallenbach are on 17. And Casey Atwood and Robert Presley on 17. Well, Terry Labonte has gone well here, but he's got a long way to go with Sterling Marlin. Had a little Michael Waltrip way down on row 20, relying on provisionals to get into the race, as are Ted Musgrave and Steve Grissom. Final qualifier then also on a provisional, Scott Pruitt. Well, into the night here. At the start of the race, off pole position, a nice wide track here at Richmond. Only 0.75 of a mile, but a very, very wide track offers some great Winston Cup racing. So Jeff Burton goes into the lead. Bobby Labonte just in behind Jerry Nadeau and Rusty Wallace as Rick Mast just falls back a little bit. And a smooth surface here at Richmond. Different radiuses in the two sections of corners, different banking on the front stretch and the back stretch. Jeff Burton leading then from Bobby Labonte and Jerry Nadeau. 2 laps of a total of 400. It's Mike Bliss and Ward Burton here fighting for 5th position. And the pack is tightly in place as Jeff Burton just starts to pull away here. Well, a good-sized crowd as usual at Richmond, over 90,000 spectators. There we see good battle for second place here. And that's giving Jeff Burton and his Ford just a chance a little bit to get away as Bobby Labonte tries to stay on terms. Now 396 laps to go. And that's the 14 and 22. That's Rick Mast, qualified well up, and Ward Burton going at it. And the Burton brothers always going well here. Ward Burton running up at the front. Jeff Burton leading this race. Always seem to have good runs at Richmond. Well, a little bit further back, that is Jeff Gordon in the 24 Chevy. He's fighting with Tony Stewart. 5 wins between them so far this year. Tony Stewart in that Home Depot car. Just in behind the number 36 of Ken Schrader as he tries to go around the outside. And Burton slotting in behind. Schrader looking to get mugged now. Schrader sticks on that inside line. But Tony Stewart just manages to squeeze by, and Jeff Gordon, looking like he wants to do the same thing. Good wide track here again at Richmond. Really offers a good variations in grooves, and the drivers can run low, down, mid-track, or even high, depending on how the groove forms during the race. Oh, and that is a big crash there for Michael Waltrip in his Chevy. Just seems to get together with the number 50, Ricky Craven, and into the wall very, very hard. And a bad season for Michael Waltrip and his crew continues, unfortunately. Now that's number 12, Jeremy Mayfield. Flat tire coming into the pits. So an unscheduled stop there for Jeremy Mayfield. Driver from Owensboro, Kentucky in the Mobil 1 Ford. Well, the Richmond crowd happy as usual. Long way to go and plenty of action. Well, this is lap 54, and Elliott Sadler has made some contact with something, and it looks like his race is going to be run unless they can get that repaired. On this looks like that is Jeffrey Bodine and John Andretti, and it looks like John Andretti just taps the back of Jeffrey Bodine's Chevy, and that puts him into the side of Elliott Sadler. Really, Elliott Sadler was the innocent party. Bodine hit him after being tapped from John Andretti's Pontiac. Wow, lap number 90, 310 laps to go. We'll take another look there at John Andretti and Jeffrey Bodine coming together and taking out Elliott Sadler. Sadler definitely coming off worse. Well, Jeff Burton still leads this race, but driving for Dale Earnhardt, the number 1 Pennzoil Chevy, is Steve Park. Is racing with Rusty Wallace right in behind that leader. Steve Park and Wallace going at it. As you look past from Wallace's car. Now that's Burton, our leader, and that's number 2, Rusty Wallace. Going into the lane, looking to get up the inside of Jeff Burton as he gets held up by number 97, Chad Little. Chad Little's Ford just getting in the way of Jeff Burton, and Rusty Wallace takes advantage and slides up the inside. Steve Park looking to do the same thing, so Rusty Wallace gets it absolutely sideways. So Chad Little now a couple of laps down in this race, 91 laps out of 400, and Rusty Wallace working the traffic to his advantage. And Wallace just managing to go through, and Jeff Burton will not be happy about that, getting caught behind Chad Little. And Chad Little is now 2 laps down and really needs to get out of the way of race leader. Jeff Burton, Steve Park wants to slide on through, make sure he stays in touch with Jeff Burton. Here, look at that, Rusty Wallace just getting really, really sideways on. Very rare you see a Winston Cup car get that sideways on and keeps going. Great bit of driving by Rusty Wallace. Well, 99 laps out of 400. Rusty Wallace now leads it. Plenty of action to come at the Chevy Monte Carlo 400. 167 laps gone out of the 400 here at the Chevy Monte Carlo 400 at Richmond. Rusty Wallace is still leading this race, but not by much from Jeff Burton. So two Fords are leading. Steve Park in the Dale Earnhardt run Chevrolet is in third place. And continuing his solid run on the championship just behind is Bobby Labonte in the Circuit City car. Back in fourth place. Well, that is Dale Jarrett, defending Winston Cup champion. He's gone into the wall, and he's coming into the pit for service. Looks like he's made some relatively serious contact with the wall. No yellow flag, though. He causes the incident, goes up into the wall. We don't know how he got there, but manages to get into the pits without a yellow flag coming out, which is probably what he wouldn't want. That means a green flag repair stop for Dale Jarrett. A lot of work for this crew as they get that fender off the wheel, off that tire, and try and get the defending Winston Cup champion back out there in contention. But of course, every moment he is going to be losing time to the field, going down the field. And they're doing everything they can to get that car back running. Well, Rusty Wallace going slow now. Leader of this race, and Steve Park in the Chevy goes into the lead. Looks like some smoke coming off the back of Wallace's car. So Steve Park is our new leader. And as we go on board with Rusty Wallace, no idea the nature of the problem. Could be a motor problem, as the field just goes streaming by. So from leading this race, Rusty Wallace is slipping down the field. Number 99 of Jeff Burton goes by, and Wallace heads. No, he doesn't go into the pit lane. Jeff Burton going by Sterling Marlin. Well, bad luck here for Rusty Wallace. Pole sitter in the May race. Qualified a little further down, but looks like it might not be his night in Richmond. Well, he's continuing on, even though he seems to be distinctly lacking a little bit of power. And Steve Park coming up on slower traffic. And that is Tony Stewart, gets up the inside of Jeff Burton. Tony Stewart in the Pontiac, 3 times a winner this year. Sensational young driver Tony Stewart goes by. Pontiac goes by Ford. He gets up into second place. Won 3 Winston Cup races in his rookie season. The first time he won a Winston Cup race was here. And that's Dave Blaney, number 93 in the Pontiac. He's got together a thing with number 26, Jimmy Spencer, as the field streams past. There with that, Jimmy Spencer in the big Kmart car. Just gets tapped from the back and just takes out a very innocent Dave Blaney. Couldn't see who it was that got into Jimmy Spencer. I think it might have been the number 36 car, Ken Schrader. Well, 122 laps to go. Steve Park had led 87 laps of this race. Tony Stewart in a strong second. Bobby Labonte into third place, but coming up through it, the number 24 is Jeff Gordon. Jeff Burton, Bill Elliott, Ward Burton, Dale Earnhardt also there, Jerry Nadeau, and Johnny Benson rounding out the top 10. So it's been a strong run for Steve Park. Driving for Dale Earnhardt. Now Dale Earnhardt, one of the drivers who's qualified, if he wins this race, Dale Earnhardt, for the Winston No-Bolt $1 million bonus. And this is the pit stops happening now. Jeff Gordon in his Chevy. Should be his last regular stop under green. Running up the field strong now, Jeff Gordon. Jeff Burton coming into the pit road. Taking on right and left-hand side tires. Well, Steve Park and Tony Stewart still out on the track at the moment. As Jeff Burton goes back out into competition now. Will they make it into the race just now? Looks like they're going to continue around for another lap. So, close racing, it looks like. Yeah, just to the last minute there, Tony Stewart is diving into the pit lane. So Steve Park continues round in the lead as we see Tony Stewart come down pit road. Now let me tell you, number 3, Dale Earnhardt. There he is. Getting his pit service, is moving up through the field and having a good race, challenging again in the Winston Cup Series this year. 7 times the Winston Cup champion, looking for an absolutely unprecedented 8th victory in the series. But a long way to go for that. Tony Stewart heads out back into competition. And it's our race leader, Steve Park, driving for Dale Earnhardt's team in the pits. Now we get our helmet cam. Everything goes here. He's going to go back out in the lead after this series of pit stops as the Dale Earnhardt crew go to work. Changing all front, right, and left side tires. There he is, Bobby Labonte, championship leader, looking to stay in the top 5, get yet another consistent finish to keep himself at the head of the Winston Cup standings. Brother, of course, of the 1996 Winston Cup champion, Terry Labonte. Bobby Labonte leading this championship right now. So it's getting towards the closing stages after 308 of 400 laps. Park, Stewart, Gordon, Labonte, and Burton are our top 5. Wow, lap 318. Rusty Wallace coming into the pits again. Smoke from the back of that Ford. And looks like it might be the end of his night. Well, yellow flag, we understand, is out as Rusty Wallace parks up. Definitely the end of his competition in the Chevy Monte Carlo 400. Well, yellow flag is out, and as they come in, we look at our leaders, Steve Park, Tony Stewart, and Jeff Gordon. Will they go for right-hand tires and left-hand tires? This is the gamble they might make. It's left-hand tires for Bobby Labonte. As we look, 16 seconds, look how close that is, but it's Jeff Burton's crew. The Rainbow Warriors take a 1-second advantage on that pit stop. So great work by Rick Hendrick's Rainbow Warriors crew as they get Jeff Gordon out fastest of that pit group. Dale Earnhardt also moving up. So this race really wide open right now. Just over 70 laps to go. It is a close race at the front. Well, as we look back from the pace car at Steve Park Chevrolet, join us for the concluding part of the Chevy Monte Carlo 400 from Richmond, Virginia. Well, it's lap 330, 70 laps to go. Jeff Burton is level with the leader, Steve Park, and goes through and takes that lead. Jeff Burton goes through and heads up the field now in the Chevy Monte Carlo 400. Steve Park had led so much of this race, but Burton has been there or thereabouts and goes through to take the lead. Just in behind, we see stalking them down. It is Jeff Gordon in the number 24 Chevy. 70 laps to go now. We take a close look at Jeff Gordon, winner of 2 races this year. Hasn't been a career season really for the former Winston Cup champion, but after 334 400 laps, he's running in 3rd place. Bobby Labonte doing his championship hopes no harm at all, and Tony Stewart looking for a 4th win in the year 2000. Well, that is Mike Skinner. Ran so strongly here at Richmond before. He slowed down. Looks like he's got up into the wall in that Chevy. And that's going to bring out a yellow flag as Mike Skinner has got into the wall. Jeff Burton at the top of your picture. Steve Park in the middle and Jeff Gordon down at the bottom. And yet again, the Rainbow Warriors crew get Jeff Gordon out fast. Bobby Labonte goes out. Good stop by the Joe Gibbs crew. So, good stops there, and Bobby Labonte staying in front of this race, contending for a victory. Already won 3 times this year, winner last time out of Winston Cup competition. Well, tensions mounting at the Chevy Monte Carlo 400. As we come to the conclusion of this race, the race is still under yellow. Well, that is smoke coming off the back of Bobby Labonte's car, and he is heading back into the pits for service. Some kind of mechanical problem. So they're going to need to get him back out quickly to stay up in the top 5 of this race. Well, Bobby Labonte made such a good pit stop last time out. Don't know the nature of the problem. Well, we now understand he was dropping liquid from the power steering system on the car, and that is putting power steering fluid out onto the circuit. So the information is they're going to cut that power steering system. Going to make things difficult for Bobby Labonte. Well, 22 laps to go. Jeff Burton leads from Jeff Gordon. Steve Park, Tony Stewart, Dale Earnhardt right up there, Bill Elliott and Mark Martin. And that is Dale Earnhardt lapping Bobby Labonte, 2 contenders in the Winston Cup Championship. And Dale Earnhardt puts the championship leader a lap down. So on board now with number 19, Casey Atwood. Rookie in the Ford. His engine has expired. And that's bringing out another yellow flag. Well, as Atwood brings that car back into the pits, looks like his race is over. Now the leaders are staying out, but Dale Earnhardt in the Chevy is coming into the pits. Now he's going to go for 2 tires or 4 tires. Master tactician. Well, it is 4 now. This is a gamble for Dale Earnhardt. He's going to have a better handling car at the end of this race, but it costs him time in the pits. Restart, 14 laps to go. Well, that was our 5th caution of the race. Jeff Gordon and Jeff Burton battling it out of the front. Jeff Gordon has been thereabouts, but is yet to lead this race, and he goes into the lead, taking the lead from Jeff Burton. Steve Park in 3rd place. Dale Earnhardt now in 4th. Fastest man on the track. But look at this, Jeff Gordon goes around and takes the lead from Jeff Burton. But they're side by side. Burton getting the power down, coming out of the turn. Tries to get back up the inside of Jeff Gordon, but Gordon has got a good mid-track line. So there it is. Very, very close times now. Jeff Gordon and Jeff Burton battling it out at the front of this race as the final laps come down at Richmond. Dale Earnhardt running strong. Just in behind Steve Park. Now remember, Dale Earnhardt owns the car that's directly in front of him. And if he wins this race tonight, he is in line for the Winston No Bull $1 million bonus. So only 3 cars separate Dale Earnhardt from $1 million payday. But right now it's Jeff Gordon who leads. Jeff Burton by just a fraction. Steve Park and his boss Dale Earnhardt sits in behind. You can see the good wide track here at Richmond allows 2 very varying lines through there as we see Park and Earnhardt go through. Park just staying out a little bit wider. Earnhardt dropping down onto the lower line. And is Earnhardt getting out to the inside as we go onto the straight? Well, they're absolutely side by side, bumper to bumper, door handle to door handle. Here, Richmond, and Earnhardt goes up, slides up a little bit wide, nearly makes contact with Steve Park. Trying to get that third place. He wants that $1 million bonus. This is classic Intimidator. And you can be sure he's going to give it everything he's got to get that $1 million bucks. But right now, for outright victory, Jeff Gordon and Jeff Burton battling it out at the front of this race. 9 laps to go. Well, there we go. Is he going to beat Barley? Yes, he does. Dale Earnhardt gets up the inside of Steve Park. Now he's going to try and chase down Jeff Burton. But Steve Park is challenging him back again. Says, no way, I don't care. I might drive your car, but I'm going to do everything I can to stay in the lead, and absolutely side by side. Steve Park driving the Pennzoil cars. We look from the Pennzoil copter cam as Earnhardt and Park side by side for third and fourth place. It looks like Jeff Gordon may just be starting to eke out a little bit of a lead with 7 laps to go. Well, this is the battle of the race. This is classic Winston Cup NASCAR racing action. 7 times Winston Cup champion Dale Earnhardt finally puts a move, or does he, on Steve Park. It's on this section of the track that Park seems to be a little bit faster, but no, he's finally put the move. He slots back into place. And Dale Earnhardt, can he do it with 6 laps to go? Looks so quick in that section of the track. Trying to close down Jeff Burton. And right now, number 6, Mark Martin. Looks like Steve Park is starting to get a little bit of trouble with his tires. Right in behind him, also Tony Stewart. So looking to drop another place from leading this race for so long. Steve Park loses that place. Another Ford car goes by as Mark Martin takes up that 4th spot. But Steve Park is battling back. Jeff Gordon still leading this race. Jeff Burton doing everything he can to catch him. But right now his mirrors are full of the Intimidator. 4 laps to go. Ward Burton, brother of Jeff Burton, battling it out. And it is Dale Earnhardt who goes through into second position. So a fantastic run with just 3 laps to go here. Can Dale Earnhardt do it? Mark Martin on a good late race charge follows the Intimidator through. So that 4-tire gamble looks like it may have just paid off. 3 laps to go now. He took 4 tires on. That cost him time in the pits. But he's running so much faster now than Jeff Gordon. Can Jeff Gordon hang on? Only 2 laps to go. Jeff Gordon's wife, Brooke, she looks just a little bit worried. As we look now, 2 laps to go, just coming up to 1 lap to go. Mark Martin is the fastest man on the track. It's the final lap. Can the Intimidator catch Jeff Gordon? Can Mark Martin catch the Intimidator and take that second position? It's the final lap now. Ted Musgrave gets out of the way, smoke pouring off the back of his car. Mark Martin looking to challenge the Intimidator. As Jeff Gordon looking to come up and take the checkered flag. Takes victory at Richmond. Fantastic race at the end. The Rainbow Warrior crew for Rick Hendricks celebrate. He didn't lead in the early parts of this race, but right to the end, right at the end, Jeff Gordon led the most important lap, which was the last one. What a drive by Dale Earnhardt and Mark Martin. Steve Park, so disappointing. Running so strong to the mid and later part of this race early on, but then the car just seemed to go away, as did Jeff Burton and Tony Stewart. Well, fantastic win. 3rd win of the year for Jeff Gordon. 52nd career win for the former Winston Cup champion. What a fantastic race, as we've expected Richmond. Excellent racing, right at the end. We spoke to Jeff Gordon.
Casey gained.
Tell you what a great day for us. We worked hard all weekend long. We came and tested, and the car was great. And we were there all day long, you know. We just never had that track position. There at the end, I knew I had to take advantage of Jeff on that restart. I had no idea Earnhardt and them guys were going to be coming that fast. So luckily I got out there and got to set a smooth pace.
And 6 of the...
Well, there you go. 6 of the top 10 positions in this championship have changed, but Bobby Labonte still leads it after round 25 from Dale Earnhardt and Dale Jarrett. So can Dale Earnhardt do it again? It's so close at the front of this Winston Cup championship, and Dale Earnhardt is looking so strong at the end of this series.